evening, good evening. Hello, everyone. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Say hello, say hello, say hello. Hi, everyone. Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Good evening. Good evening. Hi, everybody. Hello, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. How's everybody? Gee, I'll tell you something, guys. One thing I love about the month of February, I'm sure I'm not the only one who's noticed this. It is a month that goes pretty fast. Like January comes and January just stays and stays and stays. And you got bills to pay. You feel like you pay your cable bill twice. You paid your mortgage twice. It doesn't end. And the kids never stop asking. And then it finally ends. And February is like boom, 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 like that. I'm telling you. Plus, it has 28 days. Well, sometimes 29. Can ask for more. Well, hi, everyone. This is 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. Good evening. Come on in. Come on in. Say hello. Say hello. If you see my hand on and my tattoo on Facebook and YouTube, is because I am also on Instagram and my webcam is right there. Anyway, how was everybody's weekend? Usually my weekend starts, or my week starts on a Tuesday, unless I have court, because I have court in 3 weeks. I'm going to be doing another trial. But anyway, how was everybody's weekend? Because we've been having this crazy cold wave in the South that I don't know. I think y'all from New York and Chicago and Massachusetts and, all y'all from the North and the Midwest just brought your cold down here. So I lived in Chicago for 3 years. But I love that city. Like I still was there last summer, but the winter time, I don't know how you guys still do it. And I lived in, well, not Boston. I lived in Worcester, Massachusetts, which is like an hour from Boston. Cold as hell. Get the irony? I just cannot do cold weather anymore. But anyway, come on in. Let's talk immigration. Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. Say hello, say hello, say hello. Now, before I came on, because I signed up for, I'm signed up to different things. You have no idea when it comes to immigration. So I get updates on different things every single day. And just before coming on live, I was getting an update saying that um, ombudsman inquiry that we usually do for everything in the kitchen sink, they are putting a pause on quite a number of things, and that's usually my not last hope, but one of the great things I love to do on behalf of clients to be able to get information about their cases. And now they've changed things on us, and they will not be taking just any case. For instance, if your case is way outside processing times, you can do an ombudsman inquiry, but now they're going to put a pause on that. And when I get more information as far as exactly what it is that they will no longer be accepting requests for, I will come back and do that. But in the meantime, let's talk immigration. If you need to contact our office, 334-341-4475 for those on Facebook and YouTube. You can see that on the screen. For those on Instagram, I don't have an app that can show that on the screen. So 334-341-4475. Send me an email directly to my email address, aos@olalayalawfirm.com. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, I do not understand why. Why? Yeah, I usually say why, but I've lived in the South so long. When I say why, it sounds like why. I means Listen, you need to hear TJ talk. Well, you heard TJ talk. But if you haven't subscribed to YouTube channel, I don't know why you have not. You need to subscribe. And I'm still trying to I need all your help, trying to get to 5,000 followers on Facebook. We're about 3,000 something, but the goal is 5,000 at the end of February. If your mind can conceive it, your hands can achieve it. That's life for me. Anyway, let's talk immigration. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section. As you already know the deal, we will get to those questions later on. Hold on, let me get TJ to TJ. Let me get TJ to help me close the door so I can. That's my baby. For those who don't know TJ is my youngest son. Hey, honey, can you help me push that out the door and close the door? Don't kick my stuff, kiddo. That's how you get paid. That's how you buy all the stuff that you're wearing. Telling American kids or something. But anyway, if you need to contact the office, once again, the number is 334-341-4475. Visit our website as well and 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. So this evening, let's talk about green card for asylees. Green card for asylees. If you file for asylum, then you become an asylee. And when can you get a green card? By filing asylum, and if so, when? So once again, share this video. Follow us on TikTok. I'm going to be posting I think a couple videos tonight. TikTok is just fun for me. It's like, okay. And listen, 𝒂𝒑𝒊𝒏𝒕 is like, my time for TikTok is because I wish it was 48 hours in a day. TikTok for me is the way I go to sleep, because I'm someone who my brain is always on. Sometimes I'm trying to get away from myself. So my brain is always on. I'm telling you, like, I think of clients every single day. Clients, kids. Yeah. So my brain doesn't rest. And so the way I can, I can just decompress and slow down and go to bed is I get on TikTok. So for the most part, my phone, I can't tell how many times I've bashed my forehead. So my forehead is wide, but I'm surprised I don't have any knocks with my phone just falling as asleep like that. So I love TikTok because it's entertaining, and I just try to do some videos. So be sure to follow us on TikTok and like our Facebook page, follow us on Instagram, subscribe to YouTube channel, 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 Immigration. If you just put in 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 Immigration across all social media, then you should see the space. Anyway, so let's talk about green card for asylees. Can you get a green card when you file for asylum? And if so, when can you get the green card? And so the short answer is, can you get a green card when you file for asylum? Yes. The whole point of filing for asylum is because you want to have permanent residency in the United States. However, you do not automatically get a green card when you file for asylum, unless you live under a rock. That's the only reason why you would not know what asylum is. But asylum is you asking the U.S. government to give you solace, refuge in the country because you cannot go back home based on the fact that you will be persecuted or you will be subjected to some kind of harm, and you have that well-founded fear of persecution, of harm, and it is based on race, religion, nationality, a political opinion, or being a member of a particular social group, and you also put in, Convention Against Torture, just to throw everything in the kitchen sink. When you are granted asylum, you can either be granted asylum by the asylum officer, USCIS, or by an immigration judge, or by the Board of Immigration Appeals if your case was appealed up until that level. Now, once you are granted asylum, you become an asylee. That's the status you derive from your application. And the way you can get a green card from asylum is by retaining that asylee status for at least a year. So I have some things written down so I can remember the point. So definitely, that for you to apply for your green card, everybody has to file I-485. That's the green card application. And this is a question I get all the time. Can I file an I-485 by itself? An I-485 is your application for a green card. It is not a standalone application. It has to be based on something. That means that in order for you to qualify to file for an I-485 to apply to register permanent residency, you have an underlying application that is being concurrently filed or that has already been granted and approved. And based on that, you're filing your 485. So in the case of the asylum, you have been granted an asylum, you've granted the asylum application, and now you are an asylee. You have the asylee status. And before you file, and so based on that, based on the asylee status is how you are able to file a 485 as an asylee to become a green card holder. Make sense? And for you to qualify to do that when it comes to asylum, you must have maintained an asylee status for at least a year. You're physically present in the United States. You have maintained that you're physically present in the United States, and you have been present in the country to maintain that asylee status for at least that year. You have not lost your refugee definition status. Keep in mind that an asylee is the same thing as a refugee. You're seeking refuge in the United States. So you are an asylee, but based as you're an asylee, but you're defined as a refugee because it's the same thing. The only difference is when you seek refugee status, you are outside the United States. When you seek asylee status, you are physically present in the United States. That's the only difference. One is outside and one is within. So one of the eligibility requirements for green card as an asylee is to maintain, still be defined as a refugee, and you have not firmly resettled in another country. Basically, you're not now living in another country, and you're not going back to the same country that you sought asylum from, or you've now based your life because you now have permanently settled somewhere else. If you do that, then you will lose your asylee status and you will not qualify for a green card. And that you merit favorably exercise of discretion. Basically saying they're going to look at everything. And so even though you've now been granted an asylee status, it doesn't change. You still have to maintain that you have that refugee, someone who is afraid to go back and still fears persecution. You maintain that for a year. You're physically present, you've maintained that status, and you're not inadmissible for any other grounds, or you qualify for a waiver of any inadmissible grounds, and you file that with your 485. So that is how you can become a green card holder in a nutshell after you have been granted an asylum application, and now you're an asylee. I didn't make the terms. That's what U.S. immigration, U.S. government says. The one term that always bothers me is the term alien. Because as an African woman, when you hear alien, you're thinking of non-human, right? Anybody with me? You ain't thinking of something that's like a human being. You're thinking of some kind of strange something. But they say we're aliens. Green card. Right? Listen, I know who I am. I know whose I am. So you can call me whatever it is that pleases you. As long as you ain't taking away from me making my coins, you ain't taking away from me blessing people's lives, I'm fine. Do you? I do mine. Right? So now, to go a step further, if you're granted asylee status, if you have a spouse that did not file with you or they're outside the country, you can petition on their behalf so that they can derive their asylee status from your status. Your children also can derive from your asylee status. Now, keep in mind, even though you had to prove fear of persecution, your derivatives do not have to prove fear of persecution, and they don't have to prove, but they also, they derive the status from you, and you file an I-703. That's what you file. If you're here and you're trying to get them from where they reside to come and join you in the country. EAD is another thing that one question I get a lot about. Do you now have to file separately when you're granted asylum? You become an asylee before you get your green card. How do you work? So the asylee status itself allows you to apply for work in the United States. And so if you are granted an asylum, your asylum application is granted and you become an asylee. If you're granted the asylum by the asylum officer affirmatively, by an asylum office, they would automatically issue you an EAD. I think it's A5. Don't quote me on that. I think it's A5 for asylees. But if you're granted your asylum by an immigration judge or BIA, Board of Immigration Appeals, they will give you instructions on how you should apply for your EAD. So you can work. The asylee status allows you to work. You can, and then get your work authorization. And after a year, as long as you have satisfied all those requirements to become a green card holder, then you will become eligible to apply for that. That's it. See, I love reading. I love knowledge. I just love it. I love to know. Like I am with all, I should be getting my new glasses hopefully by Friday, because this one I can barely see, but this one is so weak. Because sometimes I'm like my mother, like. But even with that, I think that's why my eyes are so bad. Because I'm the one who's like with the little screen at bedtime, just reading and reading, like, oh my God, I didn't know that. Then I started research. And I look at it time sometimes like 3 a.m. like, what the hell? Anyway, okay, so let's go to questions and comments. Hold on, let me take this off the screen. Let me start with Facebook and YouTube. Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay, let me go back there. All right. Hello, Joseph. It's time to put the glasses on. Okay. 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒒𝒂𝒂𝒏𝒕. That's me right here. I miss my dad. I'm telling you, I wish that, we can, I don't ever live with regrets, but the one thing I always wish for is I wish I had more time with my father. I wish I was through and through daddy's girl. Like, jeez. Yeah, I'm surprised I turned out good because, yeah. If you went to secondary school or the equivalent of high school here with me, everybody knew my father. I went to 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕, Akure, and my dad had a home in Akure, so he was there almost every weekend. And when the matron of the house, of the school, and even the juniors knew your dad's car, then you know your dad's girl. So that's why I said one of us Samuel, because my maiden name is Samuel. My former married name is Olale, but that's still my legal name in the United States. It is freezing in New York City. Can't do it. And so we're talking about my dad. I'm actually also a licensed attorney in the state of New York, and I just renew my license every year. I intend, emphasis on intend, to come and open an office in New York. I just don't know if I can do that cold. I just cannot. I can't do it. I just cannot do that cold. It is cold. Anyway, Patel, I filed Val under 9C. Okay, I mean, you mean C9. When I get... Okay, let me rephrase your question. You filed for Val under C9. You filed for Val, but you didn't file on the C9. You filed a C9 work permit with your VAW, and when would you get your work permit? So I have done tons of videos on this. Go to USCIS.gov/processing times. I always tell people, be proactive about your cases. For instance, every single client I have, every notice that comes into my office, the same day I get a notice on your case, unless I'm on my way, like I'm on my way to court, or someone says, hey, I got some, unless I just can't have access, I store every client, and I have 3 virtual assistants. Chris/fiance/business manager has his own, but so we have the Dropbox system, but I personally store every single client's notices, receipt notices, RFEs, file copies on my laptop. I have access to everything because I know it is important for you to have access to your information so that you can use that information to also look into your case. Just depend. And if you do it yourself, then that's what you have to do, Mr. Patel. Go on USCIS.gov/person-times. Look at what they are doing. If you're a client of mine, then I can help you check. But that's not what I do if you're not a client. So I've done a lot of video on this. Go and check that yourself. You can see how long it's taking them to process, C9 category EAD at Vermont Service Center. Thank you, Larry. Yeah, 334-341-4475. I appreciate it. Hello, Mr. Michael. My day was fine. How was yours? How's my boy doing? Joseph, I'm presently in removal proceedings. Is there any good news for us? What do you mean good news? We're always going to be hopeful and expectant of good news. You've got to be expectant. You've got to be expectant in life. Do you have a number? It's on the screen. Sarita Wilson. You're on Facebook, so you should be able to see it on the screen. The number is 334-341-4475. 334-341-4475. Visit our website at olalayalawfirm.com. So the number is right there on the screen as well as the website. And we can text, and you can text to that number as well. Okay, good evening, Joy. Okay, I cannot pronounce that, and I don't want to murder your name. I applied for VA, got to prima facie, going to 2.5 years now. What's going on? So everyone listening to me loud and clear. VA can take anywhere from 18 months to 3 years. Not the green card. It's not inclusive of the green card processing. VA petition by itself, I-360 petition, can take anywhere from 18 months to 3 years. It is not uncommon to still have your VA petition pending going on 3 years. It is not. It doesn't mean it's going to be approved. It doesn't mean it's going to be not going to be approved. As long as you know the evidence you have sent in. I always tell everyone, no one can guarantee you anything. We would always hope for the best. But VA can take that long. So 2.5 years, if you haven't had any RFEs, right now, and that's another thing again, like I said earlier, and go on USCIS.gov/person-times. Check the person times. Sign up to have a USC, because USCIS will send you a USCIS account, so you can create your own account and you can get updates on your kids. Do that. Go on the person times and see what they're working on. Just don't file and just leave it. And if you don't know a whole lot about immigration, then get yourself an attorney. Right? So you take that part of it out, the stress out, and let someone else help you do it. Okay, let's switch over to Instagram. Okay, hello. OPZ0501. Aduni Sweet. Hello. Okay, let's see. I am 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. That's my older brother's middle name. Yes, that's his middle name. 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. Please, I have a quick question. Can a church file for someone who is out of status? It's not about whether they can file. They can file a petition. The question is, can you change your status? Can you change your status being out of status? So if you're not eligible, if you're out of status, then you will not qualify to change your status, whether it be a non-immigrant status for one to another, or you're adjusting status. You must be in. If you're adjusting status, unless you fall within one of those categories where you're exempt from the lawful presence. But generally, when you're changing status, when it comes to non-immigrant cases, you will be required to maintain status. So they can file the petition for you and grant that petition for it by itself, but the change of status part of it, if you're not in valid status, then you will not be eligible to change your status. Okay, so let's see. Barex 12. I did a divorce later here in the US, but made a mistake with my last wedding date. Can it affect my case? You can always, if you're talking about the date you put, as far as a type when it comes to the date of your wedding, I can use this. I can't advise you, or I can't give you. Well, this is not advice. It's just information and purposes. But as far as your question is concerned, if you're, I can only talk about the state of Alabama. That is, divorce is state specific. I can't tell you anything about a state specific issue. If you were in the state of Alabama, in which I practice family law, if there was a mistake on your date, all you have to do is just file a motion with the court to amend that error and have the court correct it. So if you have a divorce decree, for instance, and it lists your date you got married and date you got divorced, file a motion with the court, and sometimes you may actually be able to go to the clerk's office and just do an amended divorce decree or amended petition or amended complaint, whatever the case may be. So that would be what you would do in the state of Alabama. So you would have to find it if that's what you would do in your case. I'm about to already answer your question. Jerry 7. If I have prima facie VAWA and biometrics, can I get an advanced parole? Advanced parole you can get only if you have filed an I-485 with your VAWA. Simi Balogun. Is your name Simi Sala or Simi Sala? And what other Simi? My sister's name is Simi Sala. You need a vacation where you don't have to think about clients. I do, right? I do. Chris actually said the same thing today. But the funny thing is, and I kid you not, even while on vacation, I'm telling you, my brain cannot shut down. Even while on vacation, I still am doing work. So unless I'm completely away from my laptop and I'm completely away from my phone, because I can do a lot of stuff on my phone, I trust me. But it's part of who I am. What I do is just part of who I am. And I love to shut down sometimes, but it's just part of who I am. It's just, yeah. But I do. Simi Balogun, I do. Okay. Hello, Tony. Thanks for all that you do. You're welcome. My question is, can you travel to another country aside from your home country using an advanced parole? Yes, you can, particularly if you're seeking asylum. You don't want to go back to a country where you're seeking asylum from. But if your case doesn't involve asylum, you just want to travel. I actually had an advanced parole for a woman who has been waiting to go to Jamaica. And she's got a lot of things going on, but she's not able. So we finally got her advance parole approved today. So I just said, guess who's going to Jamaica soon? She was like, oh my God. Yeah. See, that's why my brain doesn't shut down. So yes, you can travel as long as your advance parole is still valid. I'm doing good. And Angel Kitu Patel, I am doing good. Thank you for asking. Okay, go ahead with your question, Angel. Hello, Mama. My mom is here. I did tell 63. That's my mom. Everybody say hi to my mom. Like when I say my mama, that's my real mother. That's the woman who gave me life. And I was telling you the last time that I don't know if she was on, but I'm so much like my mother in a lot of ways. That's why I think we clashed a lot. We're getting better, but we're so similar. Very similar. And I see that in my kids because I have my 17-year-old, which I don't think you guys have ever seen him. Maybe a photo of him. He's got this side eye. When I say something, he's so used to it now. He goes, like his eyebrows go up, like fix that face. And we just shake his head like, I'm like, yeah, whatever it is you're thinking. I am my mother's child. What can I say? What's your question, Angel, before I get up? Hello, Femi Speechless. Let me tell you something. I think I've said this to you. And I told Chris, when we finally set a date, don't know when that will be, but you're coming to play. Like, I listen to your music and I was like, if you like high life Nigerian Yoruba high life music, like gospel, everything combined. It's like you just have a good time. Now, I'm not a party, oh, I'm big kind of girl, but my mother is. Like, if you live in Worcester, Massachusetts, if you live in Worcester, Framingham, anywhere near Boston, you've probably met my mother in the party. I am lying. I am. Listen, she'll tell you that's the truth. So, so I have some of that blood in me. And my mother's an Ijebu woman. I'm okay, I'm Ijebu love, but like they can shut down the whole weekend with parties. But what I love good music. I love good Nigerian Afrobeat gospel. That's this guy, Femi Speechless Global. I'm telling you, if you haven't listened to him, you need to. I'm not even kidding you. Hello, Princess 679. Please, can I do? I'm assuming you mean vow after divorcing. Yes, you can file for vow within 2 years, as long as you file for vow within the 2 years from the date of the divorce. Example: if your divorce was June 1st, 2021, you must file for vow before May 31st, 2023. And you must be able to partly link the abuse to be one of the reasons why you've ended up getting divorced. Okay. When someone is being denied, can your working permit be revoked? When you're being denied of what? Thank you, Ms. Nick. Yeah. So if it's no more than 2 years since the divorce, very, 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 very important. From the date of the date on your final judgment of divorce, 2 years, within 2 years from that date. Not from the day you decide you're filing for divorce, from the date of the final entry of divorce. Is it possible to seek asylum after 4 years of living here? I think you already emailed me. So it is possible if you fall within an exemption. So in order to know if you fall within an exemption, you would have to pay for my time, and I can discuss your specific case with you and let you know whether or not you fall within an exemption. So, and if you want to watch the video that I did, I want to say the week before, specifically about exemptions, filing for asylum way outside the 1 year statutory period. You want to do that first. If you still have questions, then you can schedule a proper consultation with them. Hello, Tunes Bubba. If I came through a K1 visa and I got married, but I'm in an abusive marriage and I apply for VA, can I still get married again and withdraw my VA? When you come through a K1 visa, you can only adjust, meaning file for a green card, through the person that brought you here. Your best bet will probably be to stick to the VA and let that go through. Okay. Why do you want to withdraw the VAWA? Okay. Thank you, Ms. Enik. How can you contact me? 334-341-4475. And if you go on our page here, phone number, website, email is right there on the Instagram page. So that is, but 334-341-4475. Thank you, Ms. Anik. K1 visa. You can tell he knows his immigration stuff. Don't be a street lawyer though. Just messing with you. But he's right. K1 is very, very petitioner specific. So basically, whoever sponsored you on that K visa, you're tied to that person, unless you can file for the VA. But you can't actually, even if you didn't go through VA, if you got married and the person is willing, which for the most part doesn't happen, willing to give you their I-864, you're still able to file for your green card. If abuse has been part of the issue, then just stick with the VA and see it. But if you get married, no, you can't adjust with somebody else because you came in on a K visa. Okay. 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕, yes. Yes. So, but I think I just answered your question. Let me know if that did not, but that, I think I just answered your question. Diamond Creams, how are you doing? Please look into it, man. We will be glad to have you here. To New York, right? I am coming. I have done it for 20 years and still fine. My mama says she's done it for 20. You mean partying, right? Or what? Yeah, well, it's going to be 20 years in July that we've been in the United States. This is true. 2 decades. Yeah, 2 decades. I remember I was 23. That's a long time. But she's still partying like, hey, listen. Okay, so let's see. So I guess I think I have my sister lawyer. I've answered your question. So yeah. Okay, hold on. I don't want to miss anybody's question. If I do, please, if I miss your question, just put it back. What time best to have telephone conversation when I book? So whenever you book a consultation with me, hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So what's your question?
My question is, my spouse I-485 just denied.
Okay.
I applied motion for him.
Motion to reopen?
For a reopen, yeah.
Okay.
So it just denied, and I have a N400 interview.
Okay.
Yeah, so it will affect anything on my N400 interview?
Well, I cannot say that without a proper consultation, because there will be some things I would need to ask you. If I understand you correctly, you're saying that did you file for your spouse or they filed on their own?
No, I filed for
So you filed an I-130 on their behalf, right?
Yeah.
They filed a 485. So what was your I-130 also denied?
Yes.
What was the reason? Can you just give a very brief, not specific reason? Was it insufficient evidence? Was it
insufficient evidence. Yeah.
Okay.
They are not satisfied with evidence. Yeah.
So the visa petition you filed on his behalf was denied. That means his 485 was denied. So you basically filed an appeal.
Yeah, I did that.
Okay, so you filed an appeal. So it shouldn't his being denied shouldn't affect your naturalization unless there is something that will be in your past. So for instance, if you were not qualified to be a green card holder at the time you signed up to be one, you were granted one, or you have something that will question whether you're a person of good moral character, but that's something that you want to discuss one-on-one and find out. But generally, if the reasons for the denial does not have a bearing on your N400, then that shouldn't be a problem. Now, I cannot say whether it does or not without knowing your history.
I understand.
Yes.
Understand. Okay. All right. No worries. I will call you and take an appointment.
Absolutely. All righty.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
You are doing great job.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay. So let's see. I think.
I don't know how to go out.
Exactly. I don't know that either. Okay. I think now we figure it out. Wait. Let's see. Okay. There we go. All right. Let's go back to. I'll come back to Facebook and. Nick, I listen. I need to hire you in the at the firm. Listen, let's talk about hiring and paying taxes. Because I own a business. I'm a lawyer as well as a business owner. Chris is taking care of all that, but I don't know how the guy does it. That he has to deal with me. I'm just being honest. You got to know yourself. They said, when you acknowledge the problem, the problem, when you acknowledgement is half solution, right, of a problem. But we got on the phone today because I do credit card processing. And I was like, what the hell? I went off on the person. And then Chris says, I got it. Because I'm a Nigerian woman. We don't do things like, especially when it comes to money. My mother is Ijebu. Don't play with my money. Mm-mm. And then by the time he was done, he was like, "Well, you're about to eat your words because they're right. We just pay too much taxes in this country. We pay darn too much taxes. I'm telling you." But anyway, Ms. Nikia, they need to book a consultation. Let me see. Let me go back. Let me go back. Oh, I missed some questions. I may miss your questions. Just email me or maybe something that. No problem. Tunes Bubble, I have already responded to your question. Can an asylee travel with travel document while waiting for the green card? Yes. Make sure that you have to remember you are going to still maintain your refugee definition status. You're not firmly reset in another country. Keep in mind that until you get that green card, anything is still possible. So you don't want to jeopardize that. Thank you, Mobile Official 01. Denied for not showing up on interview. So if you were denied for not showing up, your work permit that comes with the 485 is going to be denied as well. And just a note on that, because this is one thing a lot of people get confused about when you're scheduled for an interview for marriage base. You're not scheduled for an interview because of your 485 green card application. It is part of your interview, but they do not even start on your green card application until you have satisfied that you have a good faith marriage. So your interview really starts with your I-130. That's why you can't have an I-130 interview without even filing a 485, or you have an I-130 interview with, and then the beneficiaries in removal proceedings, and they cannot adjudicate 485 before USCIS because they're before the immigration judge. The good faith interview, while you're scheduled for your, and that's why if you do not show up or your spouse does not show up, your case will be denied. Your 485 is not denied because you failed something or you didn't prove good faith for the 485. The 485 is denied because it's collateral based on the fact that your underlying petition, the I-130, is denied. Remember, initially I said that the 485 is not a standalone. It's got to sit in something. So that's something in the marriage base is the I-130. That's the whole purpose of your good faith interview. If they do not find you credible, believe that you have a good faith marriage, that is going to be denied. And then your 485 will be denied as a result of your I-130 being denied. So not showing up for an interview, even if you show up as a 485 applicant, if your spouse is not there, that's it. So if you did not show up and it was denied, or if you did not show up, because you did not get your interview notice, then you can file a motion to reopen. But sometimes it's just better to just restart. And that means your work permit also will be revoked. Let's see. Is any complaint? Can you file for someone in Chicago, or do you have offices? We represent immigration clients in all 50 states. So any immigration attorney can represent you regardless of the state you live in. I do not have offices. I only have office in Alabama. We should be speaking into existence, coming to Atlanta soon. We planned it last year, but it just didn't plan out. So fingers crossed. But Chicago, no. I just cannot do that winter. Can't do it. But we represent immigration clients in all 50 states. Okay, you're welcome, Tunes. Okay. Yes, Ms. Zenik, you're very right. The K1 is so easy. It sounds so good, but I'm telling you, your options are limited. Even if she's not a citizen, so she can file 485 on green card. J3 clothing. Are you talking of the person? So now, I knew if you're talking of the lady that came on just we can have. Okay, yeah, gonna get up soon. If you are a green card holder and you file and you're filing on behalf of a spouse, your spouse can adjust in the country as long as the priority date is current and and they are invalid non-immigrant status but at the time they apply for their 485. You must be invalid non-immigrant status if your 485 is based on an I-130 filed by a spouse who is a legal permanent resident and not a citizen. So that, that's, I'm sure I didn't ask her, but I would assume that's the only way you can. Can I reapply after an I-130 was revoked for fake divorce certificate? Revoked or denied? If it was revoked, so was your green card taken? You may have to get a new divorce and then reapply, but reapplying would depend on what issues that first one raised, and that would be where you would need a lawyer. Do you need to take all the business taxes docs for N400 interview? Tax returns tax returns serves two things in a naturalization interview. If you're filing with a spouse, it shows, number one, that you are filing based on married to a citizen after 3 years, that you're filing jointly with your spouse, and you both live in the same place, and your taxes have your both names and your address and all, as well as being able to prove that you're a person of good moral character, you obey the law, and you file your taxes. If you're filing based on being a legal permanent resident after 5 years, the taxes helps to show that you are a law-abiding citizen. Good moral character is part of what you have to prove for an N400 interview. And so whatever that you can take, and if you're owing taxes, that you're showing that you're paying taxes, you're doing the right thing you're supposed to. So that's where the taxes comes in. But I can't say if you're taking all business tax documents. I can. U.S. citizen petition prepared in Nigeria since 2019 with priority date. We haven't heard from NVC for an interview. What can we do to expedite? So I'm assuming because it doesn't take that long to get the I-130 itself approved, NVC is another animal altogether. I'm telling you, they're working religiously on. Let me go back to Facebook and. They're working religiously on the backlog, but it's not fast enough. If you have a medical grounds to expedite, humanitarian grounds to expedite, fear, like someone fear of something, it has to be a medical emergency or humanitarian ground. If you have any of that applies to you, then you can do that based on that. Okay, I got an RFP for VAL last year in May, and I responded to RFP before the deadline. USCIS said they got the RFP, no update till now. Just wait and see. Dabin, I can talk about a case that I know nothing about, but just wait and see. With advanced parole, how long could one stay outside the U.S.? I always tell my clients, don't stay more than 3 weeks. I don't know why. I just feel more comfortable with that. That's just me. And I've never had any client who stayed more than that. With advanced parole, how long could one stay outside U.S.? Yeah, that's the same question, Eta. That I just, you specify how long you will, but advanced parole is good till the date that, the approval date. If you're filing separately, then it will be a document. If you're filing together with 765, then it will double as your advanced parole. I just usually say don't stay more than, that's just me, three weeks, 21 days is what I always put on everybody's I-131. Can I include my son's name while filing my I-130? I did not. You mean you did not include his name in your visa application back home? That may raise a red flag, but why didn't you include his name? That's something that's been coming up as an issue. And let me say this: if you filed if you came into the country with DV lottery, and you said you didn't have children, and now you turn around and file an I-130 for children that you said you did not have, please understand that when you file for citizenship, for instance, they pull up all your record in the kitchen sink since the very first day you applied for anything with U.S. government, and that will come to haunt you. Just an FYI. Can I volunteer my room for start out Atlanta? 𝒊𝒎💂💂💏🕐. I would take you up in your offer. It's not the location. It's not, but thank you. Thank you. It's not the location. It's just trying to decide if I want to have another attorney, which defeats the whole purpose of me trying to be there. If I'm trying to get to be able to see, and I'm not really sure about the in-person yet. If we start in person, we're going to require masks, but it's more about being able to be, I always say I'm a mother full time. That's my number one priority. And in my spare time, I practice law. So being able to still fully be thank God when you have a kid that is driving, one kid is driving, life gets a lot easier. So, there used to be 2 years ago, I would run to court and then try to see who can cover for me so I can run back home, get my kids, or run to the office and do half day and go back and get my kids. It was crazy. But now that my oldest drives, I can focus and actually take on more work. And so now it's more about trying to figure out doing all of that and then maintaining a satellite office and still being able to do that. And I know, Chris is, that guy is just heaven sent. But will people, because I cater mostly to Africans and Caribbeans, are people going to be okay with, and y'all let me know, with having another attorney, even though it's going to be under the 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒏𝒕 law firm umbrella, maybe once a month, once every other month, be able to make you Atlanta, or you're going to be okay with whoever the attorney is. And I just, that's what I'm trying to figure out. It's more about the time. If I'm just going to go full service immigration and stop doing criminal defense, which is going to really, it's not, I do criminal defense. The state doesn't pay you much, but I realize that I do because I just love to help people. I love fighting for people I've never seen. But if I have to do Atlanta office, then something's got to give, because I cannot jeopardize being a mother. So something's got to give. And that's what it is, 𝒊𝒎💂💂. Something is just, that's where it is. That's my dilemma right now. So something's got to give. I've got to take off something on my plate right now so I can put that in, or just know that someone else who is obviously not going to be me, which is a hard thing for me because I got control issues. Okay. Maybe 1 or 2 questions and then I got to go. Can someone travel with parole? Generally, yes. I don't know about Nigerians. All Kenyans I know that had kids back home, but they didn't include. Well, the question is, how is it going for them here? Only starts to put it when applying for it. Well, most have been successful. Okay. If you know that they have been successful, then that's a miracle that they got by. But that is the law. One of the reasons, and I have someone who is right now in removal proceedings that came in on a DV lottery, won their green card through a DV lottery, and right now is in removal proceedings for that singular reason. They applied for children, and the children got approved. But when she applied for citizenship, they pulled up her record and saw that she came into the country with DV lottery and said she was single and did not have children. And so now it's like, how do you come now and have 4 kids if you never had children? And she tried to say, someone helped me, but it didn't work. She's in removal proceedings as we speak. That is the law. You cannot misrepresent in DV lottery application. Now, I don't know if you came in, the other person that asked about not applying. I always say, if you're my client, you're not filing for them, but include them. Now, if you came in with DV lottery, I usually make you sign that you understand there is a possibility that they will pull your record and see what you said before. And you've got to sign that in my firm. That's just the way it is, because that's just what the law is. Now, if you're talking about someone filing for you, and you said you didn't have kids. For instance, our example, you marry someone, they file a K1, you say you don't have kids. But if you're not, it turns out, because I've actually had this case, it turns out the person actually was not interested in you if you had kids, or they told you that the only reason for you to include your children in your application is if they're coming with you. So if you understood that to mean I don't have kids, means I don't have kids coming with me, doesn't mean I don't have children, then that's different. Argument can be made for that. But when it comes to DV lottery, I'm yet to see someone get by filing for children that they said they did not have back then. Now, if you now claim that those children that were yours, actually, that you said were not yours, you went back home and you adopted them, just saying. Okay, one more question and then I'll call it a day. All right. So if you guys need, I'm looking at the time. It's almost 9 o'clock here. I'm doing good. If you need, hello, Mrs. Stanley. If you need our help, contact our office. Number is 334-341-4475. Visit our website at 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. If you need to set up a consultation, it's $130 for half an hour, $230 for 1 hour. And what we do is we credit the consultation fee towards the attorney fees if we are retained within 15 days from the consultation. And so we take care of you. And let me know what y'all think about the Atlanta thing. And then we'll see how it plays out. But until next time, everybody,